So St. Paul tells us, have no anxiety at all. Is that really possible? Well, the truth is, on our own, no, it's not possible. Matter of fact, it would be incredibly difficult to even attempt it. But as we hear in the readings, if we truly believe that God is in our midst, that He is truly with us, that He is walking with us, because our God is not out there somewhere. Our God resides right here. Because we are temples of the Holy Spirit, our God dwells within us. So, can we do it on our own? No. But we have a lot of help. And it is that which we are called to look at. Ultimately, to move towards that not having any anxiety really means a change of attitude. And an essential one. How often do we sit and tell God what God needs to do? How often do we tell God what our needs really are? How often do we try to tell God how life should be? And whether we say it directly or not, how often do we really tell God that He's doing it the wrong way? No wonder why we're anxious. To be able to contemplate what St. Paul is saying, to have no anxiety at all, is to change our attitude. From us telling God, to instead rather asking the simple question that was asked of John that day. What should we do? Or rather, what should I do? And what does that do? It places God in charge rather than ourselves. And that's the attitude we must have. As long as our communication with God is directed at telling Him how to run the world, then anxiety is going to naturally be part of our lives. There is no way around it. Because, well, let's be honest, if we're going to tell God what to do and we're going to be in charge, there's a whole lot of stuff we have to take care of. There's a lot of stuff that we need to make sure gets fixed in the right way. We need to make sure everything is just right in its place. And the problem is, life is pretty messy. And it's not possible for us to do that. But if we're willing to change our attitude, and if we're willing to start asking that question of God, rather than telling God what needs to happen, asking God simply, what do I need to do? This is what best prepares our hearts and our lives for Christ. Because that's what allows us then to begin to open our ears, to begin to hear the Lord in our life. And that is what will give us the strength to respond in the way that we need to. It is so easy to get lost. It is so easy to be confused, to be overwhelmed, to be overcome by the issues of life. And so when we hear the words that St. Paul wrote to us today, have no anxiety at all, it is so easy to laugh and scoff at what St. Paul writes to us. And really to simply tell Paul he doesn't know what he's talking about. But he does. He's calling us. He's calling us to know that our God is with us. And it is when we open ourselves to that attitude, when we truly give control to God, it is there that we can recognize fully that our God is with us, that He is walking with us, and that no matter what is happening in our lives, that we are not forgotten, abandoned, or forsaken. Rather, we can take to heart the words that the prophet Zephaniah spoke to us today when he tells us that God will rejoice over you with gladness. May we seek then to have no anxiety. May we seek not to tell God any longer what it is that we expect, but may we have that change of attitude to sit in humility before our God and simply ask Him, what should I do?